Hey guys, welcome to another session of Epic 7. I'm gonna do this again as a Dear Smilegate, letter to Smilegate to the devs on, probably enlightening us, and which they actually did for some of these changes I'm about to talk about. So I think big three things right now on the plate, and the hot discussion topics are Molagora still coming back, but I'll be talking about that in a bit, and the most recent stove announcement that in the mystic banners are now going to be rotating at three weeks a run. Now I think for this is where I'm a bit half. Like I want to make sure that everybody listening to this video recording understands that my intention here is not to bash Smilegate, and understanding that it is a company, they got employees to feed, so making money is natural. The only time when the players start stepping in and saying that, oh, this company is getting greedy and getting to that point, it really is when they kind of like disrupt what we are kind of used to, and so understanding all of that, I just want to go through my thoughts on what I think is going on. And in the stove announcement, in long story short, they really summarized saying that, oh, it's because players want to be able to get the heroes that they want earlier. Now let's say for example, RB has not made it into a mystic rotation so far, so RB may be one coming in the near future. We don't have Ruel, we don't have Dark Corvus, RB, stuff like that. So there are a couple left, but we are running out of some of the OG, the original Moonlight 5s. So I kind of understand that they're trying to speed it up. They're obviously, let's get to the problem, the pros and cons. The con obviously is that then there is 1 week less for a free-to-play, for example, to gather the resources, either spam secret shop or even just waiting out on Guild War. Although Guild War is slightly slow in terms of getting your mystics, but over time, in 1 week, I mean, it will still make a difference, one pull or not. But really getting Skystone in order to be able to maybe refresh the secret shop, that has always been something that I think Smilegate or Epic 7 does very well, is that giving us that secret shop option. It really alleviates some of the free to play, and I think that's great. Obviously the pressure becomes higher as if it becomes a 3 week cycle, we can expect, assuming that they are still going with a return hero for 1 month or 3 weeks now, and then a new hero for 3 weeks. So because of the pacing of that as well, the new heroes coming out, if they are released and if they are gonna be like pretty good or game changing, then that can force the game to go back to where it used to be, sort of when ML Araminta and ML Baal were broken as well. And there was no pity at that time too, although now we have a pity. So with that being said, I personally don't think that they needed to change it, especially with the amount of OG ML5s left. I guess another reason for them to make it 3 weeks is honestly because, yes, they don't have many heroes to return anymore. So it only makes more sense, I guess, to speed that up. But I wonder if they're gonna corner themselves into, like, we know that last year it wasn't easy for Smilegate. They had a lot of problems, especially pushing out content. This year, unless they've expanded their team like so significantly, that's why we've seen so much like change, and the game is really getting a lot of good updates. Well, let me retract that a bit. A lot of updates. That perhaps they have a dev team aside pumping out heroes and skills and stuff like that. I don't want to see, with a 3 week cycle, technically they get about a month and a half to come up with a new hero to balance out the skills and stuff. I don't want them to be releasing all these heroes that seem to be like whatever, and then like 3 months later they buff them. I know that is one of the strategies, and it's a really good one, because then people can't really think about passing up on a banner either. It becomes pretty scary. The other thing to link to this topic on the Mystic changes is also the recent updates in the Mystic pack. Let me pull that up here. So for those who don't know, if you clear out the Mystic pack shop, you completely clear it out, there's one more pack you can get. Now, I've never done that. I've never unlocked that myself. It is a recent one. But basically, what it adds up to is you spend a whole lot of money and you basically guarantee 10,000 Mystic medals. So you actually can pity every single banner. Now, again, being a company, I understand that they have to make money, but is that healthy for the game in the long run? Like, I think Smilegate kicked off pretty well. For like the year and a half, people have been saying that like Epic 7 is actually pretty good for free to play, and we have evidence of this because I know at least a couple people in in Legend World Arena, and honestly they could push pretty high, like top 10 for sure. They're completely free to play. So I know it's possible, but again, RNG has to be a thing for that player specifically. And for those who don't get RNG, even myself, that I actually spend a bit, I don't get the RNG. Everyone knows don't have aux slots, so that's besides the point of this video recording. But regardless, this system is this very ravenous? That's one question I want to pose. Basically, I want to make this this video for the devs, but I also want the community to feedback. If this video recording does make it to the developers, I want the community to definitely comment there as in the video, as if the devs were reading it. I think that would be great. Anyways, so that's my thoughts on the Mystic rotation. So it seems that they're kind of gearing towards a more and more so pay to win, and then this is where the next topic comes. So I'll deal with the hunts last. I think that's a bigger topic. The next is the Molagora. So on the last edition of my Dear Smilegate letter, I talked about Molagora, and when we gave them, as a community, we gave them a lot of ideas, and honestly I think they're bright enough to come up with really good ideas to, you know, lower the Molagora problem that we have. Now again, for the players that say that we have no Molagora problem, I have to say that if you are competitive in PvP, now namely RTA, I would say, or World Arena, you actually do have a Molagora problem. You just don't know it yet. You can say that you stick to the core heroes, but if you face a player that has this exact same heroes as you do, and they use it, then you're gonna have a problem not having a diverse enough team, or not effective enough team, because you don't have the Mola to skill enhance. The solution that Smilegate pumped out, this was about a week ago now from this recording. A week ago, they said their response, really, I would take that as a response to our Molagora problem, is to increase the pack limit on the Molagora packs. For those who buy Molagora packs, that's fine. I don't think they're gonna complain. They would be like, oh, okay, it's just speeding it up, so I'd have to wait for another month. Fantastic. For the free-to-play players, again, then that becomes a bigger setback, much bigger setback than it was before. For those who may have a limited resources to spend, and they have to kind of almost be forced to buy 2 Molagora packs. Let's say if they do buy 1 Molagora pack a month, and maybe on top of like the collab packs that we get, which are pretty good bang for buck. That's a side note though. They'll be kind of like pressured into buying the second one now. And what if they increase it to 3? What if they increase it to 4? I think that becomes, again, very, very toxic for the game. Again, for the whales, no problem. For the whales, like, you wouldn't even question it. You wouldn't complain about it. You would get it. But then again, that widens that gap. If Smilegate wants this game to succeed, like very long term, in terms of like just good general like feedback, from like everyone, then free to play definitely has to be talked about. I will talk about one game here. I won't name the name. But everybody will know what I'm talking about. And Smilegate, I hope you don't become this game. This game is all over the internet. Every single YouTuber does the advertisement for it. So I think that's all I need to say. They are very, very heavily, they promote us that it's free to play, but at endgame, you're pretty much paid to win. Yeah, I mean the stream chat already knows what I'm talking about. You don't need to name the name. Everyone knows this, and this is what I don't want Epic 7 to become. So hopefully you guys like reevaluate. I mean, yeah, reevaluate it. Okay, and the last thing I want to talk about is hunts. Okay, so last time I got an opportunity to kind of open up to my personal Discord community on their thoughts about the hunt. But if there are any big changes, they thought that needs to be changed. I read and summarized. I think the hunts are probably the biggest ones right now, because Hunt 13 and Reforged material are relatively new to the game, and right now we're seeing a huge gap. It's been at least a solid 2 weeks now of Hunt 13s, and I will show my gear in terms of how many 90s I have right now. This is not to flex, this is only to prove a point. The only point I want to prove here is because if you guys are watching this, as a community, you're watching this, let me know how many gear you have. It's not to compare, I know how hard it is, and RNG is a huge deal actually right now in Hunt 13, because the 50 drop can increase the amount by a ton. I don't get a lot of 50 drop, all right? And you guys can actually see my Skystone. It's a 3,600 right now. I'm struggling. I'm really struggling right now, because the amount for me to remain competitive. So I have about 3 rows. The amount for me to remain competitive, I have to farm. Anybody, especially a free-to-play and even a dolphin, if they want to remain competitive, and that's the only fun part about this game, you have to be somewhat competitive. The gear gap is too big. Anyone that is wanting to push a bit higher, let's say in GVG, they're going to run into a problem where they're going to be stonewalled by their opponent being on almost full 90 gear, and that actually makes a huge difference in terms of 6 pieces combined, the stats combined, and 6 pieces of 90 gear, especially if assuming both players rolled well on the gear, it's a huge difference. So first things first is that we have the conversion material, the manifestation stone. This Reforged Essence, a lot of the community that fed back on my Discord wall there, we're saying that just to get rid of this completely. While I have actually different thoughts, I will, pose it the way it's written. Get rid of this completely, and then hopefully that, so for example, if you converted an immunity gear, that you can use the actual like origin shell, for example, for Azimatic 13, you can use that to reforge your immunity gear, but a converted one. Now, the only reason I do understand that they had to create a different one is just because you do bypass a certain level of RNG when you convert. So it is for me naturally to understand that they have to create this to make it a bit harder, because you're always guaranteed an epic, and you always guarantee the main stat, and you always guarantee the set, or you can control the guarantee the set if you don't fool around with RNG, of course. So in that sense, I kind of disagree with like removing this, but I will say that is the majority comment. I would say that was the biggest comment, and that is also from not just free to play, but from the whaliest of the whales, who have in their items, at least at this point, I'm estimating, I only have about 3. I'm estimating at least they have 12, at least 4 times as much as me, but I'm pretty sure they even have more than that. That's talking about the most non-stop spenders saying that this should be removed. So that being said, I think it's just because like this is already hard enough to come by. That being said, yeah, so that's a topic in and of itself. The second thing is the drop rate. People from the guild, top guild, the Trap House, have done a documentation. I'm assuming they have shared this publicly, maybe on Reddit or so. If not, they have shared it with me and at least parts of my community. That they calculated the rate, the average drop rate. The only thing is that we don't have the data from before the change. So just recently they changed the drop for the reforged material to wave 2, so the boss drops it. They removed the 70 gear, which 100%, this is actually a really good change. So Smilegate, we got to give you props for that. Removing the 70 gear completely, I think a lot of people are getting really useful 85 epic drops. I myself have seen some really good ones just recently, just hunting. Although don't laugh at the rolls. Hold on, I'll just show this really quick. People like seeing gear, right? People like seeing gear. So like for example, this one, like really good substats, rolled really bad. I don't know if I'm keeping that one. These are all drops, okay? This one again, really good substats, didn't roll really well, but it's okay. The drops are there. So I think it's really cool, and the fact that is like it's always 85 means you have more gear to convert. But again, now that the boss drops this, they've increased it to 4 because you have a larger drop pool. You have a larger drop RNG pool, so they increased it to 4 to compensate. Now, Smilegate, when they made the change, they said that they are not really gonna change the rate of the drop. Okay, that's what they said. But like I said, with Trap House doing this about a 1%-ish, higher than 1%, but about 1%. About 1 reforged material per run. That's the average. 1 reforged material per run. So 200 runs really to get one. With that, we don't have any data comparing to how it was before though. So that's the only thing we don't have. We can only go off by feeling. I think by feeling, myself and some of the players that I've seen, they say that the rate feels a bit lower, even though it's compensating now technically 25%. To become a 4 drop. I still prefer the way it was before. So you get crafting material or you get the conversion drop, and those are the only 2 options. A lot of people apparently complain that you don't get enough crafting material in that sense then, and I think this one, hopefully Smilegate, you'll listen to this. I think your Hunt 12, right, for the end game players who waited a year or more for new hunts, we were stuck at Hunt 11 for a long time. We already have the gear, we already have the heroes. When Hunt 12 came, it was only a stepping stone to get to Hunt 13. Hunt 12 right now, unless you're a new player, you're not going to be farming this. So in my opinion, and already Hunt 11 already drops the Reforge Essence as well. So I really think that a cool thing to look into is that Smilegate looks into future hunts or future content being done in pairs. So for example, a harder content, because the Reforge Essence, no matter what, is more important than crafting material at this point, especially with the 85 epic drop, or 85's guaranteed to drop, but epics being pretty decent rate. This is so much better now, more so than crafting material. I think what would be really cool is that if Smilegate can look at a decent difficulty on both Hunt 12 and 13, but Hunt 12 drop maybe more crafting material and maybe not even Reforge Essence, but maybe lower, very low rate, but more crafting material, at least a guaranteed. And then Hunt 13, look into getting the Reforge material into the wave 2, so you get higher RNG technically, hopefully, at least if they tune it that way, because it does cost quite a bit. I mean, 22 energy for a free-to-play that goes on the free energy, on the event energy, on the daily energy that you can get. You're not going to be getting a 90 piece, like 90 gear. I forgot what the calculation was. If you are decently lucky, let's say you get actually like okay amount of drops, you're not gonna get a 90 gear until like 2-3 weeks. Maybe. I never actually did the calculation. That's my estimation right now. For free-to-play players, again, this is a video recording, but you drop it in the comment below. Let me know if you're completely free-to-play, you know, how many pieces of gear you get, like on average. When do you get a 90 gear? Is it 2 weeks? Is it 3 weeks? I'm guessing about that level. And the fact is that we had Guilty Gear collab, but we have other side story events. So for energy wise, it's very, very tough. So 90 gear is right now, I get it, is the next level, is the next step, but is there a way that they can make it a bit better? I'm not sure what the answer is. I propose some ideas and thoughts, and I'm pretty sure the community will continue to post that. Some of the things that community already shared, I've already mentioned in this video as well. I think really? Okay, now stream chat saying that on average about 1 per week. That's actually better than I thought, actually. But yeah, I think that the problem again is energy now, because of 90 gear becomes another issue again. I think a lot of people already complained about energy, especially about the refill. So like refresh, they were hoping to get max energy instead of like 80 energy for Leaf, 60 energy for 30 Skystone. They were hoping for that to be increased a bit. That might help a bit, but yeah, 90 gear is pretty hard. Yeah. If all energy used on hunts is about 1 per week, depending on luck, 1 to 2 a week. Okay. If you refresh your Skystone on... Right. Yes, if you refresh... No. Yeah, I'm discounting refreshing at all. But yeah, if you refresh 100%. I've been refreshing on Skystone, and I haven't dived into any Leaf pack just yet. But I'm definitely seeing the rate of how fast you can burn through it. It feels good. I would say this for people who are getting like really good 90 gear, 100% you're gonna feel really good about it, because the increase to the stats of your heroes is really good. It keeps you motivated. But what I'm more concerned about is the line that we need to draw for some players, that they might not be motivated. They might be demotivated to do it, in my opinion. 100%. I mean, whales are gonna farm hunts anyway. Dolphins farm hunts anyways. Anybody competitive are gonna keep farming hunts, regardless if it was 90 or if we were stuck at the 85 meta. But would this demotivate players though? Because like maybe they just got a handle on it. But anyways, I mean, we can't. There's one thing I understand very well, is that a game cannot satisfy everyone. It's just like me as a content creator, I can't satisfy everyone. There's gonna be people who choose to watch me or choose to like me. Some people just don't. So I mean, it's nothing we can change. But in terms of like, I think overarching thing, I think there's definitely some issues that we can adjust, and hopefully Smilegate, if you do watch this video and do hear this, hopefully you do consider the things that we've raised up. I try to be as reasonable as possible, and try not to be like, whiny and begging for things. I understand that things are not made to be easy, but I do think that there is a better balancing point. Anyways, I think I'm gonna end this for that video. I think those are all the things I really wanted to cover. Yeah, Mola Mystic rotation with the Mystic pack, and the Hunt 9 for the 90 gear. Anyways, I'm gonna end this for the video recording. I thank you guys on the stream for commenting as well. If you guys have Discord, check out the Discord server. Follow me on Twitter. Subscribe to YouTube if you haven't. As always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.